Peace, everyone. My name is Jazz the Medium, and today I just wanted to give a few quick tips on some things that I do whenever I feel like I have a lot going on, especially if it's a lot of chaos. Number one, I tend to function well in chaos. I always have. The best work environment for me is one that's chaotic. I function well in chaos. I work well in chaos, but sometimes things can get to be too much, especially when you're mixing home, work, and your personal life and everything else. So the first thing I do is I hermit. Of course, I can't hermit from work. You still got to go to work every day and you still have to live life every day. But I do limit my contact with other people as best as I can. That's the first thing that I do is I limit contact and I stay to myself a little bit more. The second thing I'll do is I'll unplug for a little bit. I'll stay off of social media as much as I would usually be on, or I wouldn't post as much as I would usually post, or I try not to look at other things in other people's lives. During my hermiting phase, what I usually do is I look at myself first, because I am a true believer that if you have a lot of chaos that's going on around you from all different places, more than likely there's something going on the inside. And your chaos may be perspective. And a lesson that I've learned is that 80-90% of the time, most of my chaos isn't even chaos. It's how I perceive it. It's how I respond to it. It's how I view it. So once I sit down and I process, why do I view it as chaos? Why is it triggering me? And then I sit down and look at the trigger. Once I sit down and look at the trigger, I try to find the source of it. Why is this triggering me to feel chaotic or feel like the energy presented to me is chaos? And once I do that, I'm able to view it from a different angle and bring myself out of it. And that is what I do when I have to deal with a lot of adversity. I don't judge people. I don't point the finger at people, and I surely do not blame other people, because most times anything that happens to me is a direct result of something I did or said or an action that I made, even if it's just your response to it. Of course, we can't control. I do want to put a disclaimer in there. We cannot control everything that happens to us outside of us. I have had a history of abuse, because people like to bring it up like, well, I was raped or I was abused, and you can't control that. But there comes a time where you can control how you heal from it. And there does come a time where you can control how you respond to that trigger. So what I'm saying is that bad things do happen to us that are out of our control, but we can control how we view it. A good example would be a quick story. I was at a mediumship demonstration years ago, and there were two women there, and they both had sons that had passed away that were killed by drunk drivers, and they sat next to each other. And the son stepped through at the same time, so the medium at the time addressed both of the sons. Well, the ladies had two very different journeys. The first woman, she became an author. She started a program to help families heal from situations like that, where they had a loved one that was killed by a drunk driver. She started nonprofit organizations. She raised money. She started publicly speaking. But then the other woman, she went to a deep depression. She had a nervous breakdown. She had to stay in a facility for a while. She ended on various medications. She lost her marriage. She lost her job. So you have two women who had two sons who were very close in age that passed away, early 20s. They were killed by a drunk driver in a car accident. And they responded to their healing very different ways. They had no control over that horrible situation that happened to them. To lose a child is painful. I can only imagine. I haven't lost a child, but I've lost somebody very close to me, and it's painful. But their healing journey took two totally different directions. So a lot of the times it's all about how you perceive it and how you choose to deal with it. So I choose introspection. I choose to sit down and look at my part of it, how I caused it, what I could have done differently. And if it was out of my control, okay, Jasmine, how are you going to respond to this? I hope this helps all of you out here. We all go through things. We all have hard times. How do you process difficult times? That's what matters. How you respond to them is what matters. Peace.